All right, guys, estrogen dominance is a term that's thrown around quite a bit these days. A lot of people are suffering from it, but the problem is I find most doctors, most naturopaths, patients, whoever it is, they're attacking it in the wrong way. And I'm going to explain what they're doing wrong, what they should be doing instead, why this other thing is going to be much more beneficial. Okay, so first of all, estrogen dominance. Your problem isn't necessarily that estrogen is high. Don't get me wrong, that's not a good thing to have really high estrogen levels, but it is your body's way of trying to tell you something. It is more or less a signal that something is off. Because if you're in a good state of health, okay, you're going to be able to make the right amounts of estrogen. Your body is going to be able to clear excess estrogen from your body. Unfortunately, when you're diagnosed with estrogen dominance, what's probably going to happen is they're going to want to put you on supplements. They're going to want to put you on something like DIM. They may even put you on progesterone. But again, these are not the right ways to look at it. This is not the root cause. So what is the root cause? What I find very, very helpful for people is to focus more on sunlight, okay? Realize that looks like a fried egg. It's sunlight. It is the sun. So if you expose yourself to sunlight, say, for example, 15 minutes in the morning, get sensible sun exposure throughout the day, and then at night when the sun's going down, expose your eyes to sunlight, a number of beneficial things happen. Okay, first of all, that sun is going to go through your eyes. It's going to hit your SCN, which is in your hypothalamus in your brain. That's going to regulate things like luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, we want those to be regulated, obviously. It's also going to help with some other things, one of which is your mitochondrial function. I've talked a lot about the mitochondria on my channel, but think of them as the engines of almost all your cells, okay? They take the food you eat, convert it into usable forms of energy. So you want good mitochondrial function. Somebody who has good mitochondrial function has a good metabolism, okay? You want that because it helps your organs, your metabolism, so many other things. Exposing yourself to sunlight helps your liver function, okay? And I'll tie this in why these things are so important for estrogen dominance. It helps your gut health. It helps with things like ovulation. So the bottom line, the end result, when you are exposing yourself to sunlight in the right way, what's going to happen? First of all, we already talked about your gut health is going to improve. One of the ways that your body eliminates or clears estrogen from the system is via your gut, okay? Without sunlight exposure or the proper sunlight exposure, you will have lowered gut health. Okay, one example is a lot of people deal with constipation. Somebody with good mitochondrial function, good gut function, should be having a bowel movement 1 to 3 times a day. Okay, that is considered normal. If you're not there, that's a sign that, if you're somebody with estrogen dominance who's not having regular bowel movements, that's a very good sign the sun can help you. Another thing that happens is when we're exposed to that morning sunlight, okay, that really sets you up for good sleep the next night or later that night when you go to bed, because it's going to help your body trigger melatonin release. We talk a lot about melatonin. That does not mean you want to supplement with melatonin. Again, I've talked about this before. That's not what you want to do. You want natural melatonin production because it controls an enzyme called aromatase. Now, aromatase, under certain circumstances, it can cause more estrogen to be produced. We don't want that, okay? So we want less estrogen production. When you have healthy melatonin levels from the sunlight, that will help regulate that process. Liver function, much like the gut, the liver is another way that your body clears estrogen from the system. So what have we done? Okay, instead of taking supplements, instead of taking prescription medications, you're simply getting more exposure to sunlight and infrared light. It helps all these things, and the end result is that your body naturally decreases how much estrogen it's making, estrogen production, and it's also going to increase how much estrogen is cleared from your body. That's what we want. That's why estrogen isn't necessarily the bad thing. It's just your body trying to tell you, I can't do these things as well. You need to help me. And a good way to do that is sunlight. So there are other things you can do, for example, to improve your mitochondrial function. I talk about them on my free checklist. There's a link in the description, a pinned comment. Go grab that. It's free. It will help you. Okay. I hope this helped you. See you in the next one.